of people messing around, alarm going off here. And I just have that. So it's only me that is able to see this alarm because I'm the only one that wants to be notified about it as well. And you can do that, for every other person that you sign up into the system. It's all user centric. So one user can assign themselves an alarm and it doesn't affect another user. On this side here, this is going to be a health summary, and it gives you a full rundown of all the devices that are in your system, right? So we have a total of 7 gateways, 31 cameras, and a couple of IoT devices in our system. Our system, again, is run on Google Cloud, so we have access to the Google mapping feature as well, too, where we can actually move things around as well and just, map out where exactly we want to look for, too. Right, and then here are some of our different cloud native analytics that we offer in our system. So we do have a parked vehicle count analytic, where you want to assign, look at, the amount of cars that are parked in a particular area from your camera view. Same thing with people counting for more of an interior standpoint. And then we also do have a heat mapping feature. And then we have a line crossing count too. So you can always just draw a line within our system and it's going to notify you about, how many times someone crossed that line as well. And to add more widgets or add more analytics, you would just have to click on this top right corner here that says add a widget. Click on that and then it's readily available for you to decide what analytic you want. So we can just click on people counting here. It's going to load up all the cameras available in your system. And then you can now toggle between deciding which one. Maybe I just want to see in our partner activation room in our office in Portland, Oregon. I click on that and then it automatically would load up here and then we're pretty much good to go. We can have it in a small size. We can also have it in a larger size as well too. So it's the world is your oyster, guys, and feel free to use it any way you like. And then at the bottom right here is our embedded chat support. Now this is very important because this gives the customer a direct access to Milestone's customer care team, right, or IT support team, which they can help them, in setting up the system. And then if they have any issues with the system or there any feedback that they would like to provide, they have a direct access to a customer care team immediately, right? And they are readily available Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. So there's always someone there that's ready to support them in any, situation that they need. And on the flip side, it saves you as channel partners a lot of time because now you can be more proactive and understanding what their needs are, and then they can also get answers directly from the Arcules team. As well as if they have, if they're looking for any trouble in trying to get the system started, maybe they have questions around, setting up views within the system, they can just type in views and then it's going to give them an article about any view related article in our system that can help them set up their system more effectively. And then also for product updates, this is where they are now able to just look at any of the latest and greatest, updates that we've had in the Arcules system. Like Ron mentioned earlier, we had a total of over 400 integrations in our software last year, right? And if they wanted to see which of them were more of the highlighted ones, you can get a full rundown of it here. So as of March 2025 now, we have a Hanma Object Detection Analytic now running in our software, and then they can go all the way down to in February. Now we have an OnViv audio support in there. January, where we're looking at line crossing detection. So if you're really curious about, what is new with Arcules, they can literally just go in here and then figure that out. So moving from our dashboard, we're going to come down to our views tab. Now, this is where we're able to look at different cameras in our system, right? So on the left here, this is what we're going to call view groups. You can create as many view groups as possible on the left here, and you can mix and match with with any site in your system, right? Different sites as well too, right? But for each view group, we limit each view group to 25 cameras, and that's just to ensure operational efficiency. But again, inside each view group, you can really toggle between different sites. So we have a site with our Lego World in Denmark. We have a site coming from Dubai. We have feeds from Lake Oswego in Portland, Oregon. We have from Singapore as well. So you can really just mix and match in all different sites, right? And then if I wanted to, go into one of the cameras that I wanted, I can hit on that full screen. We get that as well. So this is an access camera that's already running on the object detection. So it's able to detect that this is a car. Now, if I wanted to be more reactive in my approach, I can now want to enter playback. We'll click on this bottom left corner here that says enter playback. And then we click on that. And then it takes us into a more of a reactive mode, right? And then obviously you can see it's black here, right? But if you look at the bottom down here, you have different colors that are going on here, right? And what those different colors entail is that it's picking up different things, right? So if we look to the bottom right where my mouse is, right? So we can tell you that it's picked up video, it's picked up vehicles, motion, or people, right? So this is one of the ways that our AI-driven analytics can help us, so that instead of us just trying to guess, oh, what has it picked up, if it's just going to be straight motion the whole time, now our system is able to decipher what it's actually picked up, if it's actually a vehicle, if it's just plain old motion, or if it's, an actual person that that's passed by, right? And then now if we wanted to share this to someone within an Arcules system, we can click on share right here. It's going to generate a URL link that you can now copy and then send to anyone that has an Arcules login in the system. And they'll be able to look at what exactly you're looking at here. Now, if we wanted to send this out to someone that doesn't have an Arcules login, it's really like if the customer wants to send out footage to law enforcement or, for legal reasons, right? They would now have to export. So with export, that kind of takes us into a case management system that's embedded in the Arcules software, right? And what that entails is you just need to have a start and end time, give it a date, a title. So car, what is that color? We'll say gray. And then you can give it a description. And then here at the bottom here is where you can now put anything that you wanted to export into different case buckets in the system, right? So we have some for just backpack stolens, we have for back theft, and then we also have a couple of hungry people that will just do a charcuterie, if you're interested in that as well too. So for me, I have my case bucket here that just says NATO cases, then I can export that in there as well too. And then once it's ready, once I click on view case here, what it does is going to take us to the next tab, which is going to be our case page. And then here is now where we're able to look at every single case that we've exported in the Arcules software. This is where they live indefinitely in the cloud. So regardless of whatever deployment we're looking at, if it's a cloud gateway deployment, edge gateway deployment, or a camera to cloud option, any case that you export in the system, they stay in the cloud indefinitely. And to look at each video, you just click on this down arrow here. You can click on that. And then this is exactly what I exported. At the top left here, you're going to have a Milestone watermark to show that it came from the Milestone system. And if you need to download it, you will click on these three dots and download it. It will download as a raw MP4 format file and into a zip file that would go onto your device that you can now share to anybody, that's outside of the Arcules system. Now, if you've already exported the case and you wanted to share it to someone in the system, you will come down here and click on share. But if you don't click on share here, this case, as you can see, is private until it's shared, right? So only you can look at this case right now until it's shared, okay? And as long as you don't click on these three dots here that says delete case, all these cases that you can see here, they all stay in the cloud indefinitely. So from the cases, we're going to jump down into our sites tab. And a site just gives us an idea of all the different sites that we have deployed, right, for Arcules, right? And here is just where you can get a full rundown of every and each site. So add a new location, you would just click on new location, put in the location in, the address, what time zone, and what data center you want it coming from, and then you can create a site that way. If I wanted to look at one of our sites, preferably our office in Portland, I would just click on Milestone Americas. It will take us more of a granular approach into where our office is. And then here is where we can get a rundown of all the devices that are in that system, right? So we have a total of 17, 10 cameras, one gateway, one IoT device, and then we also have user-defined devices coming from our Triton sensors. So we're able to support IoT sensors like Halo and Triton in our environment as well too. If you wanted to create floor plans, you can do that from an interior standpoint where you can, depending on what the floor plans are, you can put cameras around there. And if I hover my mouse around it, this is going to be a live recording of that view, right? You can do that from an interior standpoint. You can also do that from an exterior standpoint too, where we just do a Google screen grab of our office. And then we just put cameras around the edges, right, to showcase where those cameras will be. We can look at it that way as well too. If I wanted to go into this camera from this view, I could just click on that camera. And then from right to left, there's going to be a pop-up here that's going to show me a full overview of that camera within itself. At the bottom here, it will tell you that it is connected to a cloud gateway. So that's how you know it's connected to a cloud gateway. But if you're unsure of that side or you didn't go scroll all the way down, you can click on storage here. And then that's how you're also able to figure it out. So it'll say pure cloud storage. And then it has local buffering that it's set to that's set to run for 7 days. And local buffering just means that all the data that it's picked up from the camera will get stored on that gateway for up to 7 days locally before it goes up into the cloud for 30 days, right? So rather than all your footage that's on the gateway just being uploaded at random times, we now have the upload schedule here where you can now actually set it a particular time of the day or a particular time of the week where you want all your data to, be uploaded into the cloud. Typically, maybe between 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. in your environment is where you have the least amount of traffic. You can now assign that time to be where you want all your footage to be uploaded into the cloud. Okay? And then here, this analytics tab will just show you all the analytics that are available to that camera. This is an axis camera, so we're able to use the object detection analytic here. And then some other analytics that are also available with that axis camera are going to be fence guard, loitering guard, motion guard, and people counting as well too. You're also able to toggle between the analytical source as well. And then on the settings side, this is where you can now decide the different resolution you want to set on that camera. And a lot of cameras these days have multiple streams, but here is where you set that out. We support audio via the OnViv audio now. So any camera that has audio, we support now. So you can use that within your environment. And then on the motion settings here, this is where you're now able to set the motion level for each camera. And for me, I have this camera, with this red boxes here. And that's because we have trees at the back here. So for any time the wind blows, it triggers our motion levels, right? So it triggers it, as you can see that red bar going. So rather than always being, notified that, hey, there's motion on this camera, we put these red boxes up here to tell the system to ignore anytime, motion happens behind this red boxes here, right? That way you're really being operationally efficient in that regard. And then one more thing would be on the recording settings here. You can now actually create a recording schedule within the Arcules system where you can now tell them between these hours and these hours, do not record at all because there's not a lot of activity going on there. Between these hours, record on motion, and then between these hours, record continuously. You can set all these different presets within your system as well too. And then down here would be your devices page. So this is where you have all different devices that are available in your environment, and you can look at all of them. To add other devices, you would just click on these three dots. This plus button at the top right here that says add, and then you can decide to add either a camera or a gateway into your environment. It takes 1 to 2 minutes to really add a device to the system. And then here is where you're going to have your rules page. The rules page, it just follows the ideology of, where is it happening, what is happening, and what actions do you want me to take. So if I wanted to look for one of the alarms that I set, this would be one that I'm running on a halo sensor. And kind of how you go about it is, where is it happening in the America's office? I've chosen a halo as the device type. And then what do I want is a motion setting. So there's a line that's crossed. So anytime, someone crosses a different line through that halo sensor, I should be notified about it. And then the message would be people messing around. So that's how it works out for me. And then you can do the same thing as well. So if I wanted to add another action item, I can say, oh, trigger another alarm, record video, or trigger another IO device, okay? And for every alarm that's set in your system, this is where you're able to look at every single one of them. And then you can assign them to yourself and assign it to someone else.